Alright, Clos Lentiscus Sumoll take 2, because apparently when people call me on the phone while I'm doing this, it stops the video. Awesome. Okay, Clos Lentiscus, winery run by Manel in the Parc Natural del Garraf of Penedès, Spain. So southwest of Barcelona in the Garraf Mountains. They are eroded limestone mountains that used to be seafloor of the Mediterranean that were uplifted. That was not uplifting, that was the phone falling on the ground. I am determined to make this video. I'm gonna make this video about this Sumoll because it's so good. So Manel had worked as a winemaker for another famous sparkling wine producer. I've forgotten the name of the winery now. But anyway, he came back with his brother Juan and started revitalizing, recovering his family's traditional old winery vineyards here that go back to the 14th century. Started that process, that project in 2001. I think he was already working like organically, very naturally, but his wife got stomach cancer, and in the course of the treatments and the operation, she was no longer able to drink wines with sulfur. So it forced his hand and made him start just making 0-0 wines. He is very well known. He's famous for making incredible sparkling wines. This is not a sparkling wine, and it's one of the best wines of his that I've ever had. So Manel, make me more wines like this, because this is so good. And the grape is Sumoll, which I really don't actually know enough about. It's an indigenous grape to this region, to this area. I've certainly run across it plenty of times, like here, but I don't actually know enough about it. It has a bit of a reputation of being like a aggressive, powerful red grape. This is not that, because he's a talented winemaker. What else should I say? Oh, okay, so this is Sumoll, biodynamically farmed, hand harvested, whole cluster fermentation for 15 days. And I don't think it's really carbonic, but it may go like a little bit, you know, like the grapes are producing CO2 and stuff like that, and goes anaerobic. Anyway, 15 days fermentation on the skins. Then the juice is pressed off into a mix of large old oak foudre and clay amphora, where it rests for a year on the sediment, lees. Then it is all blended together, and then it's, I think, put into something else, but I forget now, whether it's like concrete or more foudre or what, but it is transferred, it's racked off of the sediment, spends another year aging before bottling. And you may notice this is a liter bottle. I really like the whole shape of this bottle. It's got, I like this flat bottom and stuff. Anyway, so it's a liter bottle. Litrona. This is a project that was dreamed up by Alvaro from Selection de la Viña, the importer, during the lockdown. Alvaro and his wife Anna and daughter Alba live in New York, New Jersey, New York metro area. And Alvaro is a very energetic, outgoing, social guy, and I am sure that being stuck in his apartment was not what Alvaro was excited about. It is not why Alvaro got into the wine business. So I'm sure Alvaro just needed to do stuff, and he came up with this idea of making liter bottles. But a lot of liter bottles, you know, out there, they're made as like house brands for importers, or they are sort of like second labels of a winery. You know, they're like just super easy drinking, simple, like glue, like, hey, here's a whole lot of like good wine, which is great. But that's not what this is. Alvaro talked to 5 different producers that are like the all-stars of his portfolio, some of the producers that he's been doing business with the longest, and he convinced them to make wines specifically like for him, or bottle wines for him under this label, under the Litrona label, but very clearly as like them. So Clos Lentiscus, 100% Sumoll, 2018. So that's very much like and they all have different graphics on the labels. They are all highlighting, you know, the producers of these wines. And, you know, this, I think the Litrona idea was dreamed up last year, but obviously this is 2018. So this is something that Manel had made, and then Alvaro was like, hey, Manel, I got this idea. Come on, Litrona, it's going to be so cool. You got to do it and stuff. And Manel was like, like, what do I have? What would be neat, like, to do for this and stuff? And, like, had this and was like, yeah, let's do this as Litrona. So I kind of wonder, like, what was his plan for this wine previously, or was it going to be bottled as something else? I'm curious. Inquiring minds want to know. Anyway, I'm going to drink it now. Sumoll. Oh, yes. Here. Look at this. Look at this graphic here. Ah, all over my hands. Sorry, everybody. So, great. Now it's had a little bit of time to breathe since this is take 2 of this video. It smells different from when I opened it. Like you'd sort of expect. This is 0-0. 0 sulfur added. No fining, no filtration. No added yeast. It smells great. It does still remind me of Sangiovese. Cherry, raspberry, like really fresh, vivid cherry, vivacious little berries, vivacious, vivid, vital, things that start with V, because this wine has lots of life energy. That's wines that start with the V that, anyway. Also sort of smells like roses. Roses, cherries, a little bit of raspberry. It's very pretty. And a little bit of tarragon, I think. Like there's something that's like an aromatic herbal thing that's really nice. I really like. It's got great acidity that makes the fruit really pretty, like really vivid, really energetic, really like dynamic. It has great tension. It's very smooth though. It's like very, very pretty fruit. It's exactly what it smelled like on the aroma there. But then it has awesome tannin. Like tannin that is serious. It's a primary part of the wine. It's a big part of the wine structure. It dries out your palate. You feel it like all over your palate, but it's not too sharp. It's not too aggressive, and it's not like young tannins. It's not like green, sharp tannins. This is a crunchy wine. I would absolutely call this crunchy in a really delicious way, because it's like, it's got delicious, vivid, fresh, like really yummy fruit, but like acidity that makes it fresh and dynamic and kind of tense. And then it has this tannin that almost like gives the wine sort of like a shell, that gives like the fruit, that provides like a shell for that delicious juicy fruit that it has. Yeah, and I get some of that like tarragon on the palate, in the mid palate. Ooh, and in the finish too. What does it say? Yeah, 12% alcohol. Like it has awesome structure. It's very well balanced. It's very well balanced. It has great structure. I actually, with like the acidity and the tannin that this has, I actually bet that this is going to be, dare I say, better in like 2 or 3 years. Like this is very good now, but it would just be a little bit more integrated several years from now. And that's very appealing to me. I wish I could go into the future and not have to wait for this wine. I wish I could just be like, try out my theory and see what it tastes like 3 years in the future. Maybe I'll hold on to some. I've done dumber things that worked out really well. Oh, yeah. God, that fresh, like, vivid, lovely fruit with this, like, tannin and a little bit of salt. It's a combination. I feel like it's actually kind of rare to get it, like, the balance this good between, like, tannin and fresh, vivid, juicy fruit. Usually you don't have, like, fresh, vivid, juicy fruit and tannin like this together. They're sort of like one or the other. Wow. Okay, anyway, I've talked about how lovely this is plenty. I'm going to move on now and go do some other work. This is absolutely worth the money, like high 20s, $30 a bottle. This is excellent. I strongly recommend getting some of this for the summer. I'm glad I actually stocked up on it. I got more in. This is one of my favorite wines that I have tried from Manel. Guy, unknown area, unknown local grape variety, guy who is known, but known for making completely different sparkling wines, not like this at all. This is really, really lovely. I'm going to enjoy this. Thank you.